Welcome to JA Ourselves Session 4. For today's session, you're going to need the following materials: the volunteer guidebook, the junior journal packet. Be prepared to collect these after you're done with today's session, and some dice for today's junior journal activity. Be prepared to access the digital presentation for today's session at learn.ja.org. You can work with a classroom teacher to determine whether you or the teacher would be responsible for pulling up the digital presentation each time you go into the classroom. We recommend asking the classroom teacher to have the presentation ready for you if possible. To aid in preparation and facilitation, you'll notice in your guidebook blue text boxes, which contains JA of South Dakota teaching tips, and yellow text boxes, which contain vocab terms that are not already in the guidebook. For today's session, you're going to be talking to the students about earning money. What are some of the things that maybe they have done to earn money? How do you save? You're going to ask students what is a bank or a credit union and why it is important that we put money in the bank. Students might have stories to share with you about times that they've been to the bank or what kind of piggy bank they might have at home. So this is an opportunity to share with students why we put money in the bank and how the money can go into the bank to keep it safe. You can also share with them that they cannot lose the money if they choose to keep it in their bank versus if they choose to keep it at home or in their room. Today's activity also focuses on different poems that you read to the students. In the guidebook, you're going to ask questions like how much is a nickel worth or how much is a quarter worth. Students might not know the answer to this, so if you can, feel free to bring in some coins to show to the students. Now, this is a fun illustration for students to start seeing how you can earn money and save money. You do the nickel poem with them, then you go through and read and talk about the three shiny quarters. After you're done with the poem, you can have students pull up their junior journal for the next activity. For the Pick and Save activity, there are various ways you can do this. You can have students do this as a whole class together and do it as a math problem. So you can have someone tell you what 4 plus 2 is, and someone can answer and say 6. Then you can have them all color the sixes, maybe the color red. You can also choose to use the dice that is provided in your packet. Divide students into 3 or 4 groups, then have students take turns rolling the die until all numbers in the piggy bank are found and colored. First, show students how to roll the dice so that it lands on the table. Let students know that they lose a turn if the die falls on the floor. For classes that may not be suitable to divide into groups, you can facilitate this activity with using one die and have students come up to the front of the class to roll it, and then all students find one section to color that corresponds with the die number. If you choose to use the digital presentation on the screen, you notice that it's going to ask you to have them fill the number 6. As you click through, it's going to ask you to continue coloring different numbers. So you go through 6, then 3, then you go through 5, then down to 1. You can choose to make this activity engaging however you want. So you can either choose to do it as a whole group, as a math problem, or you can choose to use the dice provided in the packet and have students roll it, or you can do it using the online presentation. This is a fun illustration for them to start seeing how money can go into their piggy bank and how your piggy bank can fill up with money. If there's extra time, you can have students go back to the front of their junior journal packet and continue coloring their faces to make it look like themselves. This is the end of today's session. We hope you enjoy your time in the classroom.